1010. Sunny 101.9. That is the Oak Ridge Boys, of course, with Dwayne Allen, William Lee Golden, a mountain man, Joey Bonsall, and the guy that we have on the phone right now, Mr. Richard Sterban. Good morning, Richard. How are you?
Well, I am doing just fine. Dylan, good morning to you and to all of your fine listeners out there, certainly.
We are excited to bring you back into the area, the Norsk Høstfest. You guys have been a mainstay there for many, many, many years. And speaking of many, many, many years, we were just chatting about this. And the current lineup, the lineup that we've grown to know and love over the past 50 years, this is your 50th anniversary as this lineup, correct?
You're absolutely correct. William Lee Golden, you referred to him as the Mountain Man.
Yeah,
he was the first guy to join. He joined in 1965. Dwayne Allen came our lead singer. He came 1 year later in 1966. I joined the Oak Ridge Boys in 1972. I was actually singing with Elvis. I left Elvis and I joined the Oak Ridge Boys.
Wow.
And 1 year later, Joe Bonsall came, and that was 50 years ago this year. So it's pretty mind-boggling. We look back and we wonder, where did the 50 years go? But we've been very fortunate. We've been very blessed. We've had such a great career. So many great things have happened to all four of us. We've been blessed, certainly.
So you have a book out. It's called From Elvis to Elvira: My Life on Stage. What was it like working with the King?
Well, it was a special time in my life. I am not a writer. I do not pretend to be a writer. But over the years, when people would find out that I used to sing with Elvis, they started asking me questions. What kind of guy was Elvis? What was it like working with Elvis? Tell us some Elvis stories. And so, after years of talking about this, I decided, I probably should write some of this down. So I got together with a good friend of mine who's probably the best Elvis historian that I know. He's also a great writer. And we got together and we wrote this book. And first of all, I love the title, From Elvis to Elvira. I think that says it all, really.
Oh, yeah.
And if you are an Oak Ridge Boys fan, there's great Oak Ridge Boys stories in there. But if you're an Elvis fan, and there's still a lot of Elvis fans out there, there's great Elvis stories in there, and it's my personal story, And to try to answer your question, it was a great experience. Back then, Elvis was the biggest star in the world. His tour was the biggest tour in the music business. And to be a part of it was very, very exciting. I got to know Elvis just a little bit, and I had some great memories, of the times that I spent with him. So it was a special time. And now that I look back on that experience, I'm so, fortunate that I was able to experience that because it was a special time in my life, to say the least.
So 1972, you get a call from the Oak Ridge Boys wanting if you basically jump ship from Elvis to the Oak Ridge Boys, and this is your 50th year as the lineup that we know and that we love. What is it? The secret to your longevity? What do you credit that to?
Well, I think there are several things. I think first and foremost, even after 50 years, we still look forward to getting on stage, taking our music live to our fans and to our audiences. We live for that. We love that. We just love doing what it is that we do, and I think that's the first reason. And that has not changed over 50 years. We also have a special relationship that exists between the four of us. We're the best of friends. Each guy in our group is different. Each guy brings something different to the table, so to speak. But I think that's a big part of our appeal. And I think we realized a long time ago that we need each other. Even though we're different, we've learned to recognize those differences. And we realized a long time ago that we need each other. We pull together as a team. We're a true brotherhood. So I think that special relationship that exists between the four of us, I think is very, very crucial, to our longevity. There's no doubt about it. We love the creative process of going into the studio, recording new music. We're now being produced by Dave Cobb, who's one of the hottest guys in Nashville. We love making new music. That new music puts new life and new energy into us, into our show. And so that is a factor. And our history, I think, is really, really important to the Oak Ridge Boys. There's no group that has history like the Oak Ridge Boys. It dates back to the Second World War, believe it or not.
Wow.
There was a group at the time known as the Georgia Clodhoppers. They would actually go to Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and entertain the people there that were working on the development of the atomic bomb. It was called the Manhattan Project.
Yes.
They could not leave for security reasons, so the Georgia Clodhoppers had security clearance so they could go in. And as a result of going to Oak Ridge all the time, they changed their name to the Oak Ridge Quartet. And they sang after the war into the 1950s, became regulars on the Friday night Grand Ole Opry here, the old Ryman Auditorium.
Yep.
And then in the latter 50s, they retired. Younger guys took the group over and changed the name to Oak Ridge Boys, and that's the name we, retain to this present day. William Lee Golden was the first guy to join in 65, Dwayne Allen in 66. I left Elvis in 1972, and then Joe Bonzo came 1 year later in 1973. So this year is 50 years, and it's pretty mind-boggling. It really is.
You guys have been very fortunate, very blessed, and like you said, you love what you do, and you've been awarded a lot of cool things, like the ACM Pioneer Award. You joined the Country Music Hall of Fame in 2015. What's been your favorite award? I mean, out of all the things that you've received and all the things you've done, what's been your favorite memory?
Well, I think you're right. We've been very fortunate. We've been very blessed. And when I think of all the awards that we've received, I would have to say at the top of that list, being inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame has to come at the top of that list. Yes. If you go into the rotunda in the Country Music Hall of Fame here in Nashville, and you look on the wall, and you see the four faces of the Oak Ridge Boys in bronze on the wall, it'll give you goosebumps. At least it does me when I look at it. And then you look around the room, and you'll see Elvis. Back when I was singing with Elvis, I never dreamed that someday, I would be in the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Sure, yeah.
Here I am. You look, you see Johnny Cash, see Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers. The list goes on and on. For the Oak Ridge Boys to be a part of that group, a part of that family, is so special. And I'll tell you, a close second to being inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame is becoming members of the Grand Ole Opry.
Yes.
That is also something that's very, very special. That's another very special group of artists, and for the Oak Ridge Boys to be a part of that group is really special. So a lot of great things have happened to us. We've been able to sing for several presidents of the United States. So many good things have happened to us. But I think first and foremost is being inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, and right close second, being named members of the Grand Ole Opry. That's very special.
I love that. So it's going to be Thursday night, September 28th, 7 o'clock at the Great Hall of the Vikings, the Oak Ridge Boys, the one and only Oak Ridge Boys at the Norsk Høstfest. Richard, can you do me a quick favor? I'd love to hear a little Papa Mau Mau. Can you give me a little hint?
Well, first of all, I'm going to do it, but let me tell you,
yes,
you can count on the fact that you're going to hear me do it that night when we come to my night.
Yes,
you're going to hear Elvira. You're going to hear Thank God for Kids, probably our most requested song.
Yeah.
Y'all Come Back Saloon, our first hit ever. A lot of his songs, new music from Front Porch Singing, produced by Dave Cobb. We're patriotic guys. We honor our veterans. Just a great night of good country music, but you definitely are going to hear this. Giddy up, papa, mau, mau. How's that?
I love it. I've been waiting for that all morning, Richard. Thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing you on Thursday, the 28th at the Høstfest. Richard, thank you again for your time. I know you're busy, so I'll let you get back to your day and appreciate your time today, all right? Thank you so much.
Well, and let me speak for all the Oak Ridge Boys and tell you that we appreciate what you're doing. When you promote the fact that we're coming to Minot, you help us. So thank you, my good friend. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and you have a blessed day, and we'll see you soon, all right?
Same thing. Same thing to you.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Absolutely love that song. All right, we're coming up on the 10 o'clock hour, and as promised, Richard Sterban from the Oak Ridge Boys joins me. Hello, Richard.
Well, Chris, a special hello to you and to all of your fine listeners out there. I'm looking forward to speaking to everyone. I certainly am.
So glad to have you. It's a privilege to be talking to you this morning. Thank you so much for taking some time out and joining us. Of course, the Oak Ridge Boys coming to the Norsk Høstfest once again. You're going to be here, 10 days from now, Thursday, September 28th, 7 o'clock showtime. Now, Richard, obviously, you guys are not new to the Norsk Høstfest. You've been around a few times.
Well, we have been around for just a little while. There's no question about it. Believe it or not, this year, the four of us are celebrating 50 years of being together. So, yes, we have been doing this a while, and we have been to Mayanat on several occasions over the years. You know, the Høstfest is something that we've gotten used to over the years. We enjoy coming up there, and I can speak for all the Oak Ridge Boys, and I can tell you we're excited about coming your way. We're going to do our best to make it a great time. We plan to have a great time, and so we want to encourage people, come on out, spend some time in the Oak Ridge Boys. Let's have a great time together. Let's kind of celebrate together.
Absolutely.
And like I said, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, you guys, 50 years, that's generations. What keeps you guys together? What keeps you guys motivated and keep doing this?
Well, I think there are several reasons for that. I think first and foremost is the fact that we love doing what we do. There's no question about that. You know, even after all of these years, we look forward to getting on stage, taking our music live to our fans and to our audiences. That has not changed over the years. So the love of what we do certainly is probably number one. But there's several other reasons as well. You know, there is a special relationship that exists between the four of us. You know, we're the best of friends. You know, each man in our group is different. Each man brings something different to the table. But I think that's part of our appeal. There's no question about it. And I think that, you know, we realized that a long time ago, and we've learned to recognize the differences that exist between the four of us. I think we realized a long time ago that we need each other. So we pull together as a team. We're a true brotherhood. We're the best of friends. And I think now that we're older, we get along a lot better than we did when we were younger. I think we're too old now to let little things bother us. Really,
exactly.
You know? So I think that this, you know, the friendship that exists, the special relationship, that is certainly a factor. You know, we love the creative process of going into the studio and recording new music. Mm-hmm. We're now being produced by Dave Cobb, who's one of the hottest guys in Nashville. You know, and so new music, you know, puts new life and new energy into us and into our show. So that's a factor. And you know, I think our history is a very important thing as well. I don't think there's an act in the business that when they walk on stage brings more history with them than the Oak Ridge Boys. No. Our history dates back to the Second World War, believe it or not.
Wow.
You know, believe it or not, back then, I'll try to make this short, but believe it or not, back then there was a group known as the Georgia Clodhoppers, and they would go to Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and they would entertain the people there that were working on the development of the atomic bomb. It was called the Manhattan Project. And people could not leave, and their families could not leave for security reasons. So the Georgia Clodhoppers had security clearance that they could go in, and they went on a regular basis. And as a result of going to Oak Ridge, they changed their name to the Oak Ridge Quartet. And that group continued singing after the war through the 1950s, became regulars on the Friday night Grand Ole Opry here at the old Ryman Auditorium here in downtown Nashville. Mm-hmm. And then in the latter 50s, that group disbanded, and then younger guys took the group over and changed the name from Oak Ridge Quartet to Oak Ridge Boys. None of us are from that group either. William Lee Golden, he's the first guy to join this current lineup. He joined in 1965. He's the gentleman in our group that with the long beard. He's probably the most recognizable character that we have in the group. Dwayne Allen, our lead singer, came 1 year later in 1966. I joined the Oak Ridge Boys in 1972. I was actually singing with Elvis at the time.
I know.
I left Elvis, and I joined the Oak Ridge Boys. Joe Bonzel came 1 year later after me in 1973. So the four of us have been together now, for
50 years.
For 50 years, and our history is important to us. We do not want it to end.
No.
So we do not plan to retire. Next year we're making plans for next year. We're planning to slow down a little bit. We're not kids any longer, but we are not going to retire. Because I think as long as the good Lord above will bless the four of us with good health, we're going to keep doing it. And the good Lord has not said it's time to quit yet, so we plan to keep going. Maybe slow down a little bit, but so like I say, what we do is important to us.
Yeah.
We plan to keep doing it as long as we possibly can. We're going to plug along as long as we can.
Well,
so there are a lot of factors, but I think first and foremost, I'll go back to the very first point. We love doing what we do, and we still do after all of these years.
Well, amen to that. And I'll tell you what, everybody enjoys you every time we see you here at the Norsk Høstfest. And, the connection you guys have, you were talking about that, it shows up on stage. It shows through your music. You can hear it through the music. You can see you guys up on stage, just the connection you guys have. So, Richard, we are so excited to have you guys back to the Norsk Høstfest again, Thursday, September 28th, 7 o'clock, showtime. And I know the fans call you the Oaks, so we're looking forward to seeing the Oaks.
Well, and I can speak for all of the Oaks, and I can tell you we're excited about coming your way. We really are. So we're going to, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to do our best to make it a great time. So we want to encourage people to come on out and celebrate with the Oak Ridge Boys. You're going to hear the songs you expect to hear.
Elvira,
yes,
you got to play
You're
Elvira.
going to hear me do Giddy Up, Boom Papa Mau Mau.
Love
You're
it.
definitely going to hear Elvira. You're going to hear Y'all Come Back Saloon, American Made, a lot of the hit, Thank God for Kids, a lot of it's probably our most requested song. And then this is our Front Porch Singing Tour. Mm-hmm. We'll do some of those new songs from Front Porch Singing. For a while, we'll turn our stage into a front porch and do something because those songs are very inspirational in nature. They're very healing, they're the kind of songs that give people hope, people that are going through difficult times. So, and then we're patriotic guys. We honor our country and our veterans, and just have a great night or afternoon of good country music and family entertainment. That's what we're all about. So we're looking forward to bringing it all your way.
All right. It's Richard Sterban from the Oak Ridge Boys. Thank you so much for spending some time with us this morning. We appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you in 10 days from now, Thursday, September 28th at the Norsk Høstfest.
Thank you so much, Chris, and thank you for promoting the fact that we're coming your way. When you do that, you help us, and we all appreciate it very much, so thank you.